Welcome to Munchies. We're here today with my little brother Reed, and we're gonna make something that's super easy, super affordable, and freaking delicious. And that's really the point of all this anyway, right? Like, it has to be good, but something that sounds really intimidating, looks kind of scary, and is really good to make and super easy. So we're gonna make Muhammara.
Right. Yeah.
So Muhammara is kind of in the same vein of like a hummus, right? So it's that same part of the world. So instead of Israel, we're gonna go a little bit farther to Syria, and it's the same kind of premise to it though. It's a really beautiful dish that is almost like a celebration that they have. I mean, if you're having a big family meal, you always make these kinds of, like, you know, we made some pita today, but you'll have pita, you have different dips and spreads, and you just like dive in there, man, get dirty, get your hands in there. And it's just such an amazing moment, and it's just like a communal thing. And that's like the cool thing about that part of the world is they celebrate community a lot more than we do even. Like, food is not just, okay, we need to eat something in our car, you know, go to the drive-thru, grab something, go. It's like a whole event, man. You get the whole family around, you get your friends around, and it's like this whole celebration. And that's the kind of food that we want to really celebrate too, because we want to get back to that. Like, this is cheaper to make this than to go out to most fast food. And if you can sit around with your friends and eat it, you know, maybe you're watching the Lobo game and streaming at your television, and you were able to buy a little bit extra, we'll say soda, because you were able to save a little bit of money on the food, right? So to make this, it's super easy. We're gonna start with a couple of roasted bell peppers. We kind of pre-roasted to save some time. We're gonna do some scallions. The thing with like a lot of these recipes though is if you don't have scallions, you don't have green onions, you can sub a different onion. If you have a yellow onion, it's a little bit stronger, just go half as much. With a lot of recipes, when you see it, like traditionally you use walnuts. I didn't have any walnuts today, so I used almonds. If you have pine nuts, if you have hazelnuts, if you have freaking Planters peanuts in the cabinet, use that. You know, it's just, you need to get some of those flavors of a toasted nut in there, but you don't have to have just that specific one. And what we did on this one is we basically just toasted the almonds, some panko, some paprika, chili flake, cumin, and we just toasted it until it was like super dark and like the smells were insane. And then we've got a little bit of pomegranate molasses. I looked this morning on Amazon, you can get a 2-pack of this that drops this to about 40 cents an ounce, which is the most expensive part of this dish, and it costs $1.60 at that point. And then we got a little bit of, it's a blend of olive oil and canola oil just to kind of make it so it's a little bit easier and a little bit more budget friendly. So now, Reed, if you can take all of this.
Sweet.
And then load it into there. All
right. This is a little overwhelming, but what do I'm just gonna
dive right in.
Yep. Just load it all in there. All right, sure.
Come on, man.
All of it?
I'm an onion guy.
Put some more, you know? Put some more. I love it.
Right.
You're saying this is the most expensive thing on this thing? Really?
Yeah, I mean, bell peppers, I mean, are super affordable. Like I said, if you don't want to go with scallions and you have just some yellow or red onions in your cabinet, you could use some of those as well. And that's the thing with a lot of recipes that intimidates people. You see something on there and it's like, oh my God, I don't have walnuts right now. And we didn't have any today. It's like, cool, we'll use almonds instead. You know, like I said, like if you've got or if you have like toasted almonds that are literally for your snacking, you can use those in there instead.
Honestly, I feel like I have a lot of just random stuff as a college kid in my pantry now that I could just throw in here.
That's how I learned how to cook.
It's crazy.
And that's, I mean, traditionally through history, that's how most people learn how to cook. It's like, okay, well, we're starving, we got a lot of people, and we have to find a way to eat, right?
Yeah, what works, what doesn't, just try it all. Step back a little bit.
All that we missed this morning was I pre-roasted the bell pepper, I cut some onion, and then I put the rest of the ingredients in a saute pan and just cooked it till they were dark. Okay. That's that whole process so far. Pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna put it in a blender. And honestly, like when I was in college, I went to a thrift store and I found a food processor for $6 at the thrift store. I still use that to this day.
Really?
Yeah, dude, I beat the crap out of that every day. And that's what's kind of cool about this is like, there's all kinds of, like, when you look at a cookbook, you see all these recipes like, oh, that's cool, but I don't want to buy flank steak right now because it's $12 a freaking pound.
Exactly, yeah.
This is actually vegan.
Really?
And you won't even know it. Yeah, it's 100% vegan. But it's not vegan for the sake of, oh, we need something vegan. It was because at that time, when this recipe was created 2,000 years ago, people didn't have, you know, the meat or butter or anything. It was just, we need to make food. And okay, we have some bell peppers, we have a pomegranate tree right here. You know, there's some nuts growing and they're falling on the ground. Let's just throw it all together.
Let's do some, yeah. That's awesome. You'd have never known.
So then, I'm gonna take that and then mix it up a little bit. So see, it's starting to come together. We're just gonna help it out a little bit. Artificial top. And like I said, you can go to the store, you can get some pita and dip it, use that as a chips and dip. Like I did a little cute setup here, right, with some pita that we made this morning. If you have tortilla chips, you can use tortilla chips. If you got Pringles, bro, go to town with it.
I said, what all can you do with it? Is it just a dip? Is it?
So what we're actually gonna do a little later is we're gonna do like a little bit of a chicken wrap with a flour tortilla. We're also gonna do a pasta with it. I mean, and that's the cool thing about it. Like when you're sitting there and you're eating it, sit there and go, okay, if I added a splash of cream and like some penne pasta or some rigatoni or something in my cabinet, could I make this a pasta dish? And now it's feeding everybody, right?
Yeah, you can just make it out of everything.
Dude, you can go to town. You can, like, you had two bags of pasta, you could feed like 8 people.
Really?
With this recipe and
so
a little
this
bit
is it as well?
Yeah, so I made a batch last night so we can do the Food Network effect of like, here's the after.
Oh, really cool. I didn't know you could do both like that. Why not? You learn something new every day.
All right, see how you did.
All right, here we go.
And if it sucks, you know, still act like it's good.
Am I tasting it?
Yeah. Do you have any allergies? I should probably have asked that first. All right, cool.
That's pretty good. It's like...
It's a little bit smoky, a little bit sweet. It's a little bit tangy, a little acidic.
It has a little of everything.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really good.
Now, like, throw a little bit on pita, and yeah, just get dirty. Just dive in.
Just dive in?
Yeah, dive in, dude. That's, like I said, that's like the whole idea of this culture is like, it's really about like, dude, just get messy, have fun. Like it's supposed to be a cool environment. It's supposed to be like not this like formal dinner, right? You're supposed to like have some fun, enjoy it.
It's strong, but it also has a like nice sweet to it.
And that little tang of acidity, so you're kind of salivating afterwards, and you're like, I need one more bite.
Exactly. That's really good.
And like, if you literally tried it, like I said, we just set up, let's go grab a plate, like we have these platters here. Like if you're gonna build a charcuterie board, here's a super easy way to do charcuterie where cheese is freaking expensive, meat's freaking expensive. You know it's a lot cheaper to put on a board that's filling and people are gonna love that, dude.
And nobody would know.
Nobody would know. Like I said, if I would tell you after you ate it that was vegan, you'd be like, there's no way.
There's no way.
Because it's like smoky, it's meaty, it's like got this umami.
It's kind of like chili con queso, but it's without the meat or anything like that. With a little sweeter though, so it gives it a little kick. It's really good. Yeah, and honestly, like the thing now is like we can take it. You can add eggplant into this. You can add caramelized onion into this. You can add roasted garlic into this. Like I said, if you know, like we came up with a quick recipe. Literally, I just came up with that last night, and you can take that and take it a million ways. Yeah.
Like, you know, and that's really where I think a lot of people get intimidated with cooking. Is you see the recipe and you're like, I have to follow these guidelines. Like, no, you don't.
No, not at all.
The only way that people came up with these recipes in the first place is they like said, I'm gonna do this thing. They made a massive screw up and they went, oh, this is actually kind of good.
Yeah.
That's how most food was created. It was just somebody else's mistake.
That's awesome.
And they went, oh, this is what I intend to do the whole time because this is what I
exactly.
planned. So I mean, it just kind of like that's the biggest thing I want to impart with cooking is don't be afraid of it and don't be afraid to like go, you know what, let's try something. Because worst case scenario, as long as it's edible, you'll learn something.
You're gonna be fine. Yeah.
Like I said, like when I was in college, that's how I learned how to cook because I had, you know, like $7 a freaking week. And I had a roommate who just lost his job and he was lazy. And it was like, cool, how do I feed both of us for $7 a freaking week? And you
boom
have a lot of mistakes.
I would say, what do you think all of that cost altogether?
That probably, you can do all this for less than $10.
Less than $10, and you have it forever. You have it for like a week or so, and you
can
do it with anything. Pasta.
And you can put that on a sandwich even.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like literally, get your bread, throw it on there. 100%.
I was like, you can make something else and just pull it out the fridge and put it on there and give it a nice little kick.
Yeah, this thing will last, like right now, this will last about 4 or 5 days. And then another secret is if you put it in like a Tupperware container and put a little bit of oil, I don't care if it's canola oil, freaking peanut oil, olive oil, put that on top, it'll last another 4 days.
Really?
Because then it has an oxygen barrier.
Really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, literally something that simple, that easy.
And know.
Besides roasting the pepper, it took all of what, 2 minutes?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's crazy how there's things like that like I would never know until now. That's like super affordable, but also it's gonna taste really good.
And that, like I said, there was a million things when we're looking at this segment. It's like, okay, well, we could do this or this or this. It's like, no, you know what? I want to do something like you're at Ghetto Smith's, right? And you're walking through Ghetto Smith's and you're going, okay, cool. Bell peppers are kind of cheap right now. I can get this and this. And like I said, you can get pomegranate molasses there, but I found it on Amazon for way cheaper. And that was $1.60 that we put in there for pomegranate molasses.
I would say all I do is make sandwiches and ramen noodles, so This will give me a little.
And like I said, later we'll show you how to take noodles and make them a pasta out of that. That's going to feed like the whole crew that we have here that you can't see on camera right now.
Love that. Awesome.
Sweet.